Hello and welcome to my creative space. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Welcome to another DIY video. If you're not already, I would love for you to subscribe and join this creative squad. Today's video, I have for you some spring decor ideas. I hope you enjoy, so let's get started. For this project, I'm going to be using 2 of these wooden cubes, a few boxes from Dollar Tree, different sizes you pick. I'm also going to use some different color paints, as well as these new paints. We'll talk about it here in a little bit, some greenery and some floral foam. I'm also going to use some stickers. Okay, first things first, I am going to start by painting each box / cube a different color. I pick my colors. Some of these are from Waverly, and you will find the exact name in my description box. Okay, so I picked up these Tempera spray paint from Dollar Tree, and it's supposed to be newer. And this one came in a pack with this lighter pink and a darker pink, and I was so excited. And I don't know much about paint, but per what I read, it's supposed to be yolk vase, and I was like, interesting. But anyways, the point is that I tried it because I really like that pink color in the bottle, but once I used it, it became a really light pink color, and I was like, I don't have time for this. So honestly, I didn't do the review correctly. I ended up using regular spray paint, and I moved on to the next step. So I'm sorry, maybe later on I will do a review. Maybe we can do it on Instagram, or maybe I can do it on a live. Let me know if you're interested, and we'll do something about that. But anyways, moving on, I decided to distress these boxes because I feel like the colors were too deep for me. So I ended up using some white paint to distress them. Once they were dried, I started adding floral foam to the actual boxes. And once that was glued into place, I started gluing my boxes. I didn't put them in any specific order. I kind of just started playing with them and then arranged them. And I decided that I wanted them to go like this because I liked the different sizes in them. And I don't know, I just liked the way they were looking. And so that's what I did. Once that was done, now it's time to add the wording on there. You could use old Dollar Tree stickers. I decided to only use the P in the end, and then I used my Cricut machine and cut the rest of the letters in a bigger size so they could have different size letters. Once that was done, I started adding some Spanish moss into my little boxes so we can start adding our greenery after that. And yeah, I'm going to be using different greenery. This one, the yellowish, is from the most recent greenery the Dollar Tree came out. The same as these really pretty lavender flowers. I really love them. I need to pick up some more. Now I added some roses. I ended up switching those green flowers for different ones. And honestly, that is all for this project. Now let's take a look at the end result. And here it is, the end result. I absolutely love how colorful and how springy this looks. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Creative Squad, thank you so much for watching today's video. It's a spring collab. Jessica from Lala and me decided to collaborate and bring you some spring DIY ideas. If you don't follow her already, you need to go and check out the link that is in my description box with our collab, and go check out her channel because her work, it's amazing. When I first found her, I was so blown away of how beautiful her ideas are, and she is just amazing. You need to go check it out and subscribe to her channel and let her know that you're coming from Wendy's Creative Space. Go check it out. Check out the link down below after you finish watching my video, and subscribe to her channel. You need to do it ASAP. And now let's go back to some more DIYs. For the next project, I'm using this Dollar Tree wheel wreath, as well as some greenery, that wire garland, some flowers, and I'm recycling this sign from last year, and I'm also going to need a bow. Okay, now I'm going to start with the wire garland. Now it doesn't have to be this one, it could be any wire, or you know, you can even use some something to just wrap your flowers greenery around. I took the lavenders and I cut them individually, and with the wire wreath, or I'm sorry, not the wire wreath, the wire garland, I'm going to use that to wrap around these lavenders. I'm so sorry, my head is like all over the place. I'm a little sick. Well, I'm not sick, I am dealing with allergies, so if my voice sounds a little deeper, is because of that. I am so sorry. Anyways, I end up wrapping 7 of the individual lavenders on the top and 4 at the bottom, and I left some space, and you'll see why. Now I'm going to take my pink flowers, and I'm going to also take them and cut them individually, and then I'll grab one by one and I'll start placing them on there. I want to say I used 2 bunches of these flowers, 2 little bouquets. And then I added a lot more on the top because, of course, there's more lavenders on the top. And then I added like 3 or 4 at the bottom. Now, I decided to add these white flowers as well. And I cut them individually too. And then I just kind of stuffed them where I think I needed them. And I am so sorry because I don't know if it was my phone, where the one I used for recording, or if it was my light. But for some reason, some of these clips look purple. Like now, can you see how the color changed? And I'm like, you can even tell what color I'm using. It looks grayish, like, I don't even know, like gray color, but it's not. It's like a really pretty blue I used to color this sign. As you can see, this is the color it should be looking like. I don't know, something was wrong. I will make sure I figure it out before I do my next video. But we had to use these clips because these projects were done, there was no going back, and yeah, that's what happened. But anyways, as you can see, I painted this on, and then using my Cricut machine, I printed or I cut Hello Spring with some vinyl, and I created a little sign. Now I'm going to be gluing it onto my wreath, and then I use some ribbon to reinforce in the back to make sure all is going to stay in place, and I glue it to the wire. Wherever the wire was, that's where I added it. After that was done, I added my little bow to the top of the sign just as a detail, and that completes this project. Now here is the end result, and this one is one of my favorites in this video. I think this wreath turned out beautiful. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. For this project, I'm using these scraps of wood. I'm also using this tin flower container, some Dollar Tree flowers and greenery, as well as some floral foam, some white paint, and also some stencils. Okay, I'm going to start with the scraps of wood. Now keep in mind, you can recreate this. You could use Dollar Tree signs. I just wanted to use this scraps of wood I had on hand. And now I took these 2 scraps of wood or sticks that I had and some nails, and I'm gonna nail all these pieces together. Once everything is nailed down, I am going to be painting this completely in white. You could leave it how it is. I wanted to paint mine white. You could paint it any color you want. Once that is painted and drying, now I'm going to take my floral tin and some floral foam, and I'm going to glue it to the bottom. Now I'm adding some Spanish moss to cover all that foam, and then it's time to have fun. Now you could use any flowers you want or any greenery, honestly, but my sign is going to say fresh cut flowers, so I decided to go with flowers. Now as you can see, I placed the greenery on there, and it was all a whole bunch, and then I was like, it's not looking good. Once I added the flowers, they kind of got lost, so I decided to add the flowers and then cut the leaves individually and kind of just play around and like place them wherever I thought I needed them. I decided with 3 different types of flowers because it's supposed to be a sign that says fresh cut flowers, so I decided I needed different flowers. So as you can see, there's some roses, and anyways, yeah, you get the idea. Now, once that is done, we're going to put it to the side. Okay, once my wooden pieces are dried, I cut a stencil because I ran out of black vinyl, and I was a little bit disappointed, but at the end I ended up liking this. So I created the stencil and then I painted it completely in black. And then once that was dried, I started removing this, and I knew this was gonna happen because it kind of bleed through it and it wasn't perfect like I wanted it. But then after that, I was like, well, maybe we can still fix this. And so I decided to sand it. So I grabbed my block, my sanding block, and sand it, and it kind of looks rustic now. And even though it was not what I was picturing it still turned out really, really pretty. Now I am grabbing my drill and I'm going to create 2 little holes on my tin container. And I will create the same holes on my wooden pieces. And this is going to help us get these attached. I used some twine and I ran it through the holes on the pot or on the tin container, and then I ran them through the holes on the wooden pieces, and that is what is going to make sure it keeps it together. And that way when I hang it on my wall, everything's going to be safe and it's going to be fine. And that is all for this project. Now take a look at how this sign turned out. I absolutely love it. This is my second favorite maybe from this video. Maybe this one and the other one are my number 1 favorites, but anyways, those are mine. Let me know what you think about this project. For this project, I'm going to be using this ring wreath, as well as some lavenders, some Dollar Tree ribbon, and this cute little stand as well from Dollar Tree. I'm going to start by taking my ribbon and gluing it to this ring. I add some hot glue. I find the middle on this circle. It doesn't necessarily need to be the middle, but that's what I did with this one. Now I add glue to the other side and then I wrap it behind it. I am going to trim my ribbon to make sure, you know, everything is even. And then I glue it to where we started. And even though it's not going to be like really tight in the back, I end up adding a little bit of glue to make sure it's tight on the back. Now I'm going to continue to do the exact same thing. I added some hot glue. I'm going to glue it on there. And I start on the side that is going to be the back, just to make sure that if I mess up or something is uneven, it's going to be on the back. And then I did the exact same thing behind it. Now for the bottom portion, it's a smaller portion. I add some hot glue to the end, and then I glue the little ribbon on there, as you can see. And then I trimmed it at the bottom because it's not going to be enough to cover the whole thing. So I cut 2 different pieces to cover the front and back. As you can see, I'm removing what we're not going to be needing now, and that creates a little pocket. Now once our pocket is completed, it's time to cut these lavenders individually. All we're going to do is stuff them in our pocket that we created. So it doesn't have to be lavenders. I just choose to use lavenders. I think they look really, really pretty. Now once all of them are stuffed in there, this is what it's looking like. Now you could leave it how it is, but me being extra, I decided to add this other ribbon on there. This is the wire ribbon from Dollar Tree, and it looks like burlap trim, and I added it because it has that little white piece hint on there, and I thought it would be a good contrast with the, you know, the ribbon that we're already using as a pocket. Now I also created this little bow. It's a very simple bow. It's the exact same way I do all my bows, and that completes this project. All you do is grab your stand, and here it is. I think this is a very simple but yet beautiful project. Let me know what you think. Would you recreate it? Let me know. For this project, I'm using this board I found at Goodwill for 69 cents. I'm also going to be using some white black paint as well as different color paint. And I'm also using this laser cutouts in the shapes of flowers and butterflies. I'm going to start with this board piece, and I'm going to paint the top in the color white. Dollar Tree does sell something similar to this, and it cost $3, I believe. And yeah, it doesn't have to be this. It could be a frame. It could be anything you want. Okay, now I'm taking my flowers and my butterflies and I'm going to be painting them. And I want to apologize because I really thought I was recording when I was painting these flowers and I don't have the footage, so I'm so sorry. But the point here is, make it your own, use the colors you want, paint your flowers whatever color. Now, once that is done, we'll let them dry. Now we move on to the next step, which I'm going to be painting the whole side edge on this board in the color black. I wanted to do the bottom black and then the middle a different color. I was going to do pink, but it did not end up working out, so I ended up painting completely in black. Okay, here are all my flowers, butterflies, and everything I painted, and it's completely dry. So now I play around with my flowers, kind of figure out where I want them. Once I do that, I am going to use some hot glue to start gluing them. I'm going to start with the flowers that have the leaves just to make sure they are down, and that can help me guide me put the other ones into place. This is looking really, really cute. Now I'm going to add my butterflies, and as you can see, I saved one of the flowers and one of the butterflies to go on the top left corner. And now using my Cricut machine and vinyl, I'm going to spell happiness blooms here, and you know the drill. I'm just placing my word right there, making sure it's even, and then I'll do the other one, and that completes this project. And here it is, the end result. I love how this sign turned out. Let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments down below which one is your favorite DIY. Don't forget to go check out Lala's channel. You won't regret, I promise. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on my next DIY. Bye!